Okay, bonjour, mes amis. Welcome once again to Care Don't Care. This is John Nash filling in for replacing the irreplaceable Kid Nate. Apparently he's replaceable. And as always, I am joined by the main man, the host, the man with the most underrated album of the year by several people have said this, the Thin Black Duke, author of Fight, Everything You Wanted to Know About Asking.
Everything you ever want to know about asking
God
for a friend.
damn it. I've been working on that too. Oh God. You know what? I can't replace Kid Nate because no one can fuck it up like him.
He gets it wrong too, but
he gets it wrong in the right way. I get it wrong, just completely wrong. So and I'm here for my hidden cave, my bat lair somewhere, hiding from the fires of LA. So
it's a lot. You got like a Rod Serling thing going. I guess you come from the misty blackness, and it's like a man lost in time.
What's crazy is I don't know why this is a post facility. We make TV shows, movies. My camera sucks. Look at the digital quality here. My mic sucks. It's a professional mic.
You see, this is like John Nash jiu-jitsu. 2 shows in a row, he just effortlessly gets in there. How big he's rolling compared to me, who's sitting in the dirty Sorrow Academy. He had VIPs last week. Now he's in a post facility. I gotta hang out with you. Why am I wasting my time with Nate? That guy's a bum. I'm not going anywhere with him.
Well, a lot of people, on the down low, a lot of people have asked me, why are you hanging out with Nate? That's the big question for a lot of people. Like, what does he have on you?
It's got to be a gun or some photos. Have you ever had somebody try to blackmail you? I actually had somebody think about it.
Yeah.
She thought about it, and then we were sitting like out in the woods alone. And I think then she thought twice about making that. It's like,
how do you blackmail someone that has that doesn't care about their image to the world at all?
Yeah, I think that's fundamentally what she kind of said. If you and I think she just decided to bury it.
Like you're a man that's been nude on stage in front of thousands, and like if you don't give me some money, I'm gonna release this tape showing you in a sex act. I'm like, well, shit, that is my act.
That's the show. I'm gonna sue you for copyright infringement.
Yeah, I'm suing you for giving away for free. How do you think I make my living?
Actually, I'm writing an article on that today because I got banned. Switzerland banned me. I mean, for reasons of penis. So I'm doing a piece on that, which I think is. I guarantee you, within a couple of blocks of the venue that started the boycott, there were plenty of strip clubs, and there was a big riot in Texas when the same thing happened. And I said, "You fucking kidding me? We got strip clubs in Austin, and you're harassing me. You said the police want me to put my pants on. Get the fuck out of here with that, Then surrounded by bouncers. I was like, you guys want to fight? You seriously want to? Like, I'm the best guy that you think this is to do this with. Come on, stop it,
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe anybody asked you to put your pants back on.
Hey, if there's a guy that you have to ask to put his pants back on, don't ask. You gotta know that's a losing fucking proposition. If it's a grown adult male and he doesn't know to put his pants on, let him be.
Yeah, well, first of all, the fact that you got banned in Switzerland for your penis is actually something to be proud of, because that says a lot. That my penis is so dangerous that it won't be allowed in Switzerland.
I would have been okay. The only reason I'm steamed and going to write about, I would have been okay if the Swiss had done this of their own accord. The Swiss didn't do it of their own accord. They were egged on by somebody from San Francisco, who was an expat, who was living in Switzerland, who said, some of us like to know a man a little bit before we see his penis. I was like, who? Who? I mean, I wasn't blocking the door. You want to leave? Leave. But this is art.
This is art. That reminds me of what I used to do on set. We used to shoot B movies years ago. I used to work for Roger Corman. And instead of casting, when you had to do a nude scene, instead of casting a regular actor, because they're going to give you a hassle about doing a nude scene, you'd cast a porn star for the brief nude scene.
Oh, yeah.
And we brought in this one guy. He's a porn actor. And he has to, it's all B movie, from behind, so you don't see anything. But he drops his pants, and there's no way we can shoot around it because his penis is so big. It's hanging under the table in the shot. And so we go, okay, then he puts it up on top of the girl's butt. And every time he moves, it comes into frame. It's a giant penis. So we're talking to the guy, and this is what hit me. It's like, you're talking about the guy, and he goes, I know it's my penis's fault. It's too big. And it's really him. This poor man is ashamed of his giant penis. He has to live with the horror of having a giant penis.
There's a guy who works
for
New York Times. I won't tell you his name. And purportedly, I wasn't in the room at the time. Purportedly, he lost out on several pieces of trim because when he took his pants off, all right, his penis was so big, the woman goes, "Oh, hold the presses. I'm not touching that. Get out."
Yeah,
he's a top flight analyst. Like, if you saw this guy, there's like no way. You're probably read half of his articles on Washington D.C. politics in the last year, but Jesus.
Yeah. Well, if you just tune in, you're watching the penis show.
We've got kind of far afield very early on. The only way it could be worse is if we start to talk about how Nazis' small penises led to World War II, which in fact seems to be the case in my mind.
Do you ever heard the theory about Hitler had the mutilated penis, and that's why he had a lot of his...
or the monorchid,
yes.
the ones that I don't believe any of that stuff.
You're not into you like some good Nazi conspiracies, but not that one, huh?
Well, because you realize they try to ID the body that was held by the bunker by his dental records, but upper echelon Nazis didn't maintain dental records, so it's all bullshit. And his Dr. Morell, his crazy fucking doctor, was no kind of authority on anything. So,
well, I guess if you can't Nazi doctor, I don't know if that ranks high on.
Well, I told you my favorite story about that guy about Borman. The guy was in South America and he had a toothache, and they were like, "Oh shit, Mengele's here. He'll look at it." And he was like, nah, I'll take an Argentinian dentist, thank you. Don't want Borman touching my mouth." So,
yeah. My doctor was Mengele. That was always my Nazi doctor I would go to.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a show to do. Shit.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
We gotta do some work here, otherwise Nate might come back. So we have a fight card this Saturday.
Yeah, sure we do.
From Fresno, you're part of town. You're part of the country.
California, yeah.
Northern Cal. You're a North Cal guy. You can go. Are you going to the show? You going to this?
Well, you know what? I've had an easier time getting in to see the President of the United States of America than I have had getting credentials to the fucking UFC. And besides, the shit that you have to sign compromises you as a journalist. So you really can't really go.
Well,
so.
yeah, I know I've never been credentialed by the UFC, and
I used to be credentialed all the time, and then I got spoiled because Strikeforce used to credential, and they would feed the journalist. I was like, yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be eating, but this is good eating. So. Oh, peach cobbler, yes, and then
Strikeforce will credential. Bellator, I should say, will credential.
Yeah.
See, you lost your credentials as soon as you started working with Bloody Elbow. That's probably what happened.
No, because I would always reference the other publications when I go in, so I never.
I wouldn't name drop Bloody Elbow. I'd make sure I'm telling them.
Yeah, I usually kept Bloody Elbow. I did get Darren Uyanayoma in trouble, though. I didn't actually do it. Somebody wanted to get him a credential, and they used the porn site I used to run as a journalistic vehicle of note. And Dana called him and goes, "The fuck are you doing repping some porn site?" And Darren goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." And the guy who tried to get him the ticket, Darren was gonna beat him up. So it was like, fucking MMA drama.
Well, there's nothing more MMA, especially back then, than in porn. So I don't know what their complaint is. I don't know why they wouldn't credential that. They go hand in hand.
Yep.
Once I'm going to make sure I'm going to turn the mute on my phone. Otherwise, people will be calling us in between the show. So
all those high rollers that are calling you asking.
Oh yeah, you should see who I'm rolling with today. So.
Yeah, me. It just about says it all. What a fall from grace that's been, Yeah.
Well, the other day we recorded a little thing with Chuck Norris talking about him, and we might put on Bloody Elbow. Just going off about MMA, about we don't know. It was just on the fly on someone's cell phone. We recorded it, so we'll see how that turned out. But anyways, we have a fight card Saturday from Fresno. Which this is basically, it could be a Strikeforce Challengers card. That's the level of fighting we have on this card, without maybe the prospects that they had a Strikeforce Challenger card, some of them. So we have it on Saturday. It starts off on Fight Pass, then Fox Sports 1, then Fox Sports 1, and then UFC's negotiates a new TV deal, and who knows where they're going to end up.
Okay.
So,
what is it? What is it? Is UFC Fight Night what?
Oh, it's Fight Night. What is it? Swanson versus Ortega.
Yeah, I'm interested in this.
Well, that's the main event. We know we're interested in that.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It's the
shit underneath. Okay.
Yeah, it's
right.
the excess we got to go through here at the bottom here. Okay, so it starts off on Fight Pass, a middleweight fight: Antonio Braga Neto versus Trevin Giles.
Don't give a shit.
I don't care. Lightweight: Chris Gruetzemacher versus Davi Ramos.
Now, people might say you don't know. Well, Gruetzemacher is I remember because it's like Swiss German. Gruitzi is a way in Basel German, which is Schweizerdeutsch, is like Greasy is a way to say hello. So Gruetzemacher sounds to me like a derivation of hello maker, which is like a hi guy. So I actually went through this thought process the last time I heard his name. So I do remember him, but not enough to care about this fight outside of Schweizerdeutsch versus Hochdeutsch. So there you go.
I don't care enough to care. So they might be.
Here we go. Look at that tote sheet. So
we completely forgot. Now we're screwed because you forgot to give your warning at the beginning.
And
now people can actually are open to yell at us because we do not have that protection.
Only those 4 fighters. So let's go. Crybabies, bedwetters, malingerers, greedy bread gobblers, work shy individuals. This has less to do with your skills and talents as a fighter and much more to do with the marketing heft and weight that Endeavor, how come I'm the only one calling them Endeavor? Everybody's still calling them WME, has put behind you. You don't like being on the don't care list, want to move to the care list, then fight an exciting fight. While that's a semi-guarantee of being moved to the care list, like, sorry, ling-a-jang-a-ling, but we do remember some people who have made the crossover and stuck. Paul Felder, Oliveira, Ali Quinta, Chris Colliard-Greens. It is possible. But until then, don't come crying to us, bedwetters.
That bastard Paul Felder also, I picked him wrong last week. So not only did he screwed up my picks. So he's a
and that was close, man. I guarantee you, had I been caught in that choke, Eugene S. Robinson is tapping. But he was just like, it was just anger, just Irish anger. He worked his way out of that.
That's the best defense. So we have okay. So we've put that out. Now we can actually give our honest opinions before. So the previous 2 guys or 4 fighters they can call in with gripes if they have actual gripes. Because we didn't.
Well, it would actually, in actual fact, only be the 2 winners.
Yeah.
Because the 2 winners could say "eat it." So those 2 guys would have to say "eat it," and then we would say, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Yeah, well, maybe if they called and offered us, some sort of present, we might care more.
Yeah. I'm easy on that,
we have no journalistic standards.
Try to bribe Eugene. What if I give you yes? Okay, yes.
I mean, for God's sake, Strikeforce won you over with some food.
Peach cobbler. That's easy. Good.
That's good. I have to turn down stuff from some promoters, which is lame because I really like to take the free stuff. I'm not allowed to. Okay, the last fight on the preliminary UFC Fight Pass card. We've got a bantamweight fight: Alejandro Perez versus Iuri Alcantara. God dang it!
Yeah. Iuri is a past care, but you know what? If I got into a fight with If I got into a fight with Fred Edish, nobody would care.
I would be pretty impressed that you got to fight with Fred Edish.
If I got into a fight with Rampage, many people would care. So Iuri Alcantara, typically I have cared about his fights in the past, but this one, honest to God, if I'm in the kitchen getting a glass of wine, somebody says, "Oh, Yuri's on," I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll be out there in a second. In other words, I'm not rushing. I don't care.
Yeah, he's a name I know, a guy I've seen fight several times, but it's an okay fight at bantamweight, but I don't want to tune in and then have to sit through the rest of the fight. It's not worth enough to make me go out of my way.
Yep.
Unless something crazy happens, then I'll hear it later and I'll turn it on and watch.
Yeah, sometimes I got the peanut gallery and people will tweet me during and they'll tweet me and then I'll maybe tune in later, but I'm not,
Yeah, we're not. I guess we're not that diehard. We're not Grabaka,
which is the premise of the show.
Yes. This is for your, the the people that have urbane tastes like us, sophisticated tastes, who want to narrow it down to the specific fights that are worth watching.
Man, I don't know if you might be old enough to remember, but that late 70s porn where they tried to make it like it was like sophisticated, and they would like take like some stock photos, some stock footage of like Paris.
Yeah.
You know, like
not porn, but you know, it's close to porn. I worked on some of the '90s Emmanuel, so I gotta.
All right, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
We would choose the stock footage exactly like. I just like that we're just talking about being urbane and sophisticated. You immediately jumped to '70s porn.
Right. Well, because the voiceover is going. She was a woman of sophisticated taste and dark desires. Yeah, you know, and she's walking along in a fur coat, and then there's like some scene of her getting railed by a guy in a turban, you know.
Yeah. Have you watched The Deuce on HBO at all?
No. You know why? That shit is like, I can't biopics if I've had any personal affiliation with it are just hard for me to watch. Like the Studio 54 movie with Mike Myers, I tried watching 5 minutes of that. I was like, I just can't, man. I just can't.
There's some real gangster characters, you know, the Westies, Spillane from the Westies, they make appearances, but most of it's made up characters. But it's kind of interesting to like how the porn and sex industry came together.
Yep.
It reminds me a little bit of my childhood, I'll be honest.
Well, yeah, but also, I mean, the thing is, I'm looking at shit like, you ever see like with like hairstyles, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, man, I was there. It's not like the clothing. Like, who did it really well? Somebody recently did a kind of a retro thing, and it was like pretty fucking maybe Suburban Icon, that George Clooney. Somebody was pretty close recently, and I was like, that's dead on the fucking money. I mean, Stranger Things, of course, but you know, those guys are reliving their childhood in the 80s that they're covering, that they have rosy colored glasses for. I was already, you know, teenage.
You know, I thought really got the 70s right. Really got it right. Taxi Driver. I thought that really.
Yes, of course. But I showed that to my kids, and it was like, yeah, after we went to New York for the first and second time, and it's like, they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, this is the way this whole neighborhood used to be. It's like some fantasy land. People
it's like I have to break out. I don't know if you ever see the old movie Vice Squad from the 80s with Rutger Hauer. Not Rutger Hauer, with
I was gonna say Paul Newman, but then I'm thinking that's Fort Apache.
Who plays Ramrod the pimp in that again? Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, but I have to break that out to show people how bad Hollywood used to be, because no one will. Now it's walking around, it's all tourist crap. My neighborhood.
Yeah.
You guys missed the days when it was nice and sleazy. It was cool around here.
Well, that's when I interviewed Chris Rock, man. I was bemoaning old New York, and he goes, nah. The adult in you does not miss and getting mugged on the fucking train. It's a teenager in you that misses. It's a nostalgia for your youth. You don't actually want to get mugged on the train again. I said, well, in actual fact, I never got mugged on the train, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when my first 5-6 years in LA, it was a remarkable number of murders that happened around me. So
that's funny. That's funny, Nash. Everywhere you were, somebody was being murdered.
Oh, that's strange. That's yeah. But
I don't know how he died.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so yeah.
In the vicinity were murders, and I was surprised that the city had this many murders.
What's your middle name?
It's no, I don't want to give it away because it might no, Steven.
Yeah, see, that's always these guys. John, Wayne, Gacy.
Well, you know, Stephen Nash was
Mark, David Chapman. Yeah. Okay.
There was a California killer named Stephen Nash that called himself the King of Killers.
Oh, really? That's bold.
Yeah, he wasn't that good though. Actually, I don't know how he became the King of Killers.
I want to go on a stabbing spree, but
we just lost our monetization. If someone says on a stabbing spree,
but I only want to stab like one guy. So
that's not a spree. One person doesn't make a spree. You need several.
Well, no, I have to come back on different days and stab the same.
Oh, guy. I got you. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I want to stab people that stab people. That's my.
Like Dexter.
Yeah, it's hard to find those victims because they're really difficult. Oh, okay, let's get back on.
Okay.
Bantamweight. We got Frankie Saenz versus Merab. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Dvalishvili. He has Merab Dvalishvili.
Okay, well, yeah, it sounds like he's Dagestani, but I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. That's I should have said I just didn't care to say his name, so we can move on right away.
But you screwed me up one time with that cat. I want to say Khalil Gibran, but I know that's a poet.
No, I think it was Paul Felder when I said I couldn't read the damn print so small.
No. A couple of fights ago, and then people go, "I can't believe you go," and I was like, "Oh, that guy, that Usman. You mispronounced Usman's name." I was like, "Fuck, I love that guy," but yeah, I don't know what the hell you were saying when you were pronouncing the name. You're like, "Okay, whatever. I don't care."
Well, this has another level of difficulty for you. It evens it up because you don't know who I'm really talking about. So
right.
Picks might not be 100%. You might be actually picking a completely different fighter, imagining I was talking about someone else.
Well, here we go. So this is a moot point because we got
right now we're not
nothing on the leaderboard.
It's a top-notch card so far. Flyweight, Carl's John de Tomas versus Alex Perez. Tomas, I should say.
Sorry, man. Don't care.
Don't care. Bantamweight, Luke Sanders versus Andre Soukhamthath.
Don't care.
Don't care either. Women's flyweight, Alexis Davis versus Liz Carmouche.
I care.
Yeah, I do. I guess I care. I mean, for Davis. I mean, Carmouche, I don't really know.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Davis.
Well, I'm picking Davis too, but that's like, I mean, I want to see how Davis is. I want to see how much she wins by more than anything. I think.
Okay, well, at least we're on the board now, so I got it on the board. All right.
Next one, bantamweight, Albert Morales versus Benito Lopez.
Don't care.
Don't care. Middleweight, Eryk Anders versus Markus Perez.
Don't care.
Don't care either. Lightweight, Scott Holtzman versus Darrell Horcher.
Now we've gone through this before. It was Scott Holtzman, which in German means kind of, I think, woodsman. And I used to have a guy who was a camp counselor named Steve Holtzman. So I've gone through this before with Holtzman, but it doesn't obscure the fact that I don't care.
Yeah, I almost care because we're getting to the part of the card I care about, and this is the type of fight I'll tune in and watch. But if I miss it, I won't be sad. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Bantamweight, Marlon Moraes versus Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, I care
very much. This fight I'm interested in.
Mostly because it's heavily redolent of mist on the Sterling side of things. I smell wood, I smell mist, and he's just he's just.
I agree. This is the type of fight where it's what I like about it because the winner is relevant to the division. He's actually moving into some sort of contender type status. The loser is moving off to the woodpile.
Yeah, or the most horrible place to be, of course, which is the event horizon. So, okay. So who's your pick then?
I'm going to surprise you though. I'm taking Sterling. I think he's going to grapple the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'd like to put some light between us, just so that I could take a runner at being right again. But I think Sterling, I think realizes where he is, and the team is not a bad team. Those guys fight with a good deal of emotional presence, so I feel perfectly comfortable picking Sterling as well.
I think you're just doing that because that way, if you pick every pick I pick, there's no way I can come back and even up the score.
That's like a Princess Bride shit. That's too easy. In actual fact, I mean, I've wanted to like Sterling for a long time, but he keeps just saying stuff that puts me off my, it's just misty. Just shit, man.
Well, yeah, ever since actually his free agency run, when he got all built up and everybody's making a big deal, and then since then he's. I don't know if he didn't get the contract he wanted or what, but that's that smoke coming in from the fire. I can smell it in the room. I get burned out here in LA. So it's since then, you're right. He's been in this. He's not the. I guess he's not the big the champ.
Half the man he used to be.
I think he's still got a lot of potential. I think.
Me too.
He's on that place where you don't know if he's hit it. This is what his maximum is, or if he actually has more up value in the future.
How fucking old is he anyway? This is the thing.
30, I think he is.
Really? Okay, yeah. I thought he was younger than that. All right.
Yeah, but he's a wrestler, come out of college, so it gives you some time. Okay, co-main event, featherweight, Jason Knight versus Gabriel Benitez.
Man, I like Jason Knight, man, but this thing about Benitez, it smacks of a gimme for him. So I'm going to have to say, keep your fucking gimme, because I would say it if it was Sage Northbutt, and just because I like Jason Northbutt, North, I would say it if it was somebody else, but just because I like Jason Knight, does that mean I give him a pass? No, I don't. I don't care. I think this is a gimme for Knight, and great, build him up, whatever. Hard nail, hard as nails kid, like him, but I don't really care about this fight.
See, I care enough because it's kind of entertaining. It's in the middle of two fights I care about, so I'm like, I'm tuning in. I care.
So you have a pick?
I'm picking Jason Knight.
Yeah. I don't.
Although that's probably a bad pick because
no,
he's not cautious all the time. I think he's the type that looks like he's prone to make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah, but when I talked about Gagey on Knuckle Up, I was talking about how he comes from the Chris Lieben branch of the family tree. A guy who, win or lose, just does it so dirtily you love watching him. And Jason Knight is sort of the same cat, but like you say, these guys also run big risks to fight those kind of fights. So.
So I see this is where I took Knight, you didn't pick, and this is where I'll lose the whole damn thing because I took a pick.
Yeah.
So, anyways, main event now. We get to Cub Swanson versus Brian Ortega.
Ah, man, I
know
love.
No one cares. This fight's just
I care. I care, and I love Brian Ortega, man. I love his shtick. He plays it kind of dangerous, but I just I love his jiu-jitsu, man. And I'm a big Cub Swanson fan. He has always reminded me of a more successful Joe Diesel Riggs. Less bad luck, more skill maybe. But the way I see it, I don't know, man. I'm gonna pick Ortega.
Okay,
I feel really, really, really fucking disloyal for doing that, but I just gotta.
See, now I'm in the same boat. I love Cub Swanson. He looks like Jeremy Renner with tattoos. Yep. He's been a great guy to watch for years. He's got really cool boxing for MMA.
Yep.
But part of me says he's getting older. There's always that fall off thing. The other part says that he's in kind of a contract dispute with the UFC, and it seems like a lot of guys they get bracket. They don't know what's going to happen.
Yep. Isn't that funny how that happens? I think the bald one's gonna knife me. I think the bald was gonna. And then I lose, and the bald one knifes me. You can't,
Well, someone told me once how, most MMA fighters live this precarious mind effing business because they're not making nearly as much as people think. I mean, Cub makes Cub on a yearly basis. Cub makes more than most people, but this is for the rest of his life. And this is based on 10 years of making nothing as a fighter.
Yep.
Now he's making something, and it could be all gone tomorrow if the UFC doesn't re-sign him, and he doesn't know if any other promotion's that interested in him.
I actually was in the studio on Saturday recording some music, and had a moment where I was talking to the guy who had been in a famous band for a period of time, and I go, look at all the people we know in music. Look at all the people who have done. I mean, he himself has played stadiums. Look at all the people we know who have hit big, who like now are struggling. I said, my Facebook friend list comes up sometimes. I look at this guy on my Facebook friend list. His name is Howie Klein. I met Howie Klein at Jello Biafra's house in 1982 when he worked at Sire Records. I don't know what the fuck he was doing at Jello Biafra's house, but he was there. Howie Klein still works for fucking record labels. 2017, from 1982 to 2017. He's 1 year older than my wife. He's worked at a record label. How many bands have come and go since then? How many guys have played stadiums and rocked it? And all these guys, it's not like they were fiduciarily irresponsible. It's like, how the fuck does that happen? That for the same reason that a promoter buys a $36 million house in Malibu, whereas Wes Sims is living under a bridge, man. It's like the power of organization will get you every fucking time. And it's shocking. Mark Coleman just had a birthday yesterday, and the guy is trying to sell a belt. I'm not saying that permanent lifetime employment is a given. Like Dana, the bald one himself said, it's not a long-term career move. For him, it is.
That's the promoters are repeat players. That they're willing. A lot of what people don't realize when UFC specifically, when they're dealing with the fighter, the UFC can take a loss. They'll take a loss on a fighter. They'll even, they're willing to we can make money on this fight. Yeah, we're willing still not to do the deal because in the long run, tomorrow we've got another fighter, and we want to make sure we win in the future.
It's a crazy fucking system, man. It's a crazy system because Howie Klein sits at his desk, and if somebody in a dirty garage doesn't send him a demo tape, he's got nothing. The bald one sits at his desk. If some kid with a couple of fists and a dream doesn't come in, he's got nothing. But when they come in, it's we fleece them and how. You know, I mean,
well, people don't realize too is how unfair the advantage a promoter has over a fighter. And not only does the promoter have all the leverage, you know, oh, you want to win our belt, you got to sign with us. We have the TV deal. We have the access to the money. Not only, and you're poor and all this stuff. People forget fighters are terrible negotiators. I was talking to some fighters, and their day is spent almost all day either training or thinking about food because they can't eat because they're trying to stay in weight.
Yep.
And I don't know if people ever read the Minnesota studies about when they did back in the 40s, studied starvation under dictatorships.
Yep.
If you're hungry, your brain power just your IQ plummets. You do not make good decisions.
Yep.
So you got all these desperate, precarious guys living paycheck to paycheck who can't make proper decisions because they're starving themselves to make weight.
Yeah.
Talk about a perfect person to negotiate against.
And then also there's the pride factor, like a Pulp Fiction, with, you know, because pride, of course, hurts. Pulp Fiction, where I've known people who have attained a certain level of celebrity and can't pay their fucking $4,000 a month rent bite. And I said, okay, go online and ask your fans. And she says to me, are you seriously suggesting that I ask my fans to help me pay my rent? It's like, that's exactly what the fuck I'm suggesting, you know? If it's that or borrow money from me, yeah, I'm suggesting you go do that, you know? I mean, but, you know, it's the pride, because the illusion is that once I've made it, I've made it. Somebody needs to be real. We just, a Russian music magazine just interviewed us and go, is it true what they've said about you spending $40,000 to make Oxbow's a thin black Duke? I go, no, it's not true. We spent $55,000 on it. And that's the fucking reality. People are thinking, oh, we're out there just getting cocaine and going crazy. That's the reality of it. We weren't making an expensive record. That's how much that record cost. That's how much records like that cost. You want a studio, you want a producer, you want an engineer, that's what it cost. And that's
just to be clear though, you still were doing cocaine, right? Where you're doing this. Don't ruin the illusion.
We just didn't enter the cocaine in the budget. That's all.
Yeah. A whole different line item deduction.
So I mean, it's like it really is incredible, and it's, you know, this is, you know, people have written many more books. I think probably, I'm guessing, I'm taking a flyer on this one, many more books on communism, but capitalism is a system that really bears a whole lot more fucking scrutiny, man. I mean, the shit you can get people to do for cash. 40 years, I mean, I'm thinking about Jose Aldo. So it was hard to take this fight. It's like, okay, like Diana Ross says, tell me where the road turns. Where does it turn? The guy he's got one more fight on his contract, and then what? He's 31 years old. Who's asking those questions at 31? What am I going to do now? What should I do now? I'm going to, you know, and of course, going back to coaching kids, does that feel fun? I mean, you know, you remember Randy Couture, his future. You remember he was coaching at the University of Oregon, I think, when the first time he appeared on the cover of Grappling magazine ages ago. And he was like, maybe I'll do some boxing. I'll try. He was doing anything to get some supplementary money. Never thought he would end up a multimillionaire, which he is. But, you know, there are guys who came up with him. Matt Lillan, not a multimillionaire.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, one thing too, Randy, is he's always willing to push back. It maybe hurt him with the UFC at times, but at the same time, he carved out a niche because of that. He protected his rights to his image rights. He makes money doing other stuff. He's not dependent on the UFC.
Yeah, and if you think you're watching the UFC like watching this last weekend, and you're seeing, oh shit, oh look, that's mighty Demetrius Johnson in a commercial with Sage Northbutt. What? Sage Northbutt? What? Sage Northbutt? I mean, look. You got to understand, if they are if you see on the screen a chyron that says UFC fighter, that they're getting a piece of that. You know, they're paying the UFC for licensing that guy, and that guy is not making that money. It's not. Look, I did a Miller Genuine Draft commercial, 2 days, filmed at Phi Dodo in LA, $2,000 a day, and then over $100,000, possibly $110,000 in residuals. Now, if they had hired me as a result of, and they could put a chyron below, it says Eugene S. Robinson, UFC fighter, they pay the UFC to license my rights and image, and then the UFC says, hey, Eugene, here's $50. The fuck out of here. Come on, man. When you see those guys in the EA Sport thing, it's but you know what happened to John Fitch? Got Fitched, you know.
I mean, those guys get a little bit more talk to people. They get paid a little bit, but yeah, that's not the amount of money they're getting in an ad. It's not like a normal sports celebrity doing a commercial where they go up to the agent negotiates the deal and the athlete's making a big paycheck for the commercial. They're signing the UFC. The UFC is going to certain fighters and saying, hey, we want to put you in this commercial. If you don't agree for the price the UFC is going to give you as a bonus, because they don't even have to pay you, they're going to go to the next guy. So
that's why this was the thing, man. This is like that movie, The Devil's Advocate, where he like thinks he's won, and at the end he go, hey, we want to do a cover story. Are you game? He's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you get you every time, because the people's champion, the people's fucking champion was who? McNuggets. Conor McGee was the people's fucking champion. And what did they do? How do they peel him off from the herd? A guy who could have led the charge, not Cal Scalak, who got raped in the attempt to unionize bodybuilders back in the late 70s, but he could have led, all this talk about, oh, fighters union, blah, 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 blah. You had a guy who had risen from the hubbub, who could have led. And what did they do? Gave him $135 million, which sure as shit will destroy that guy. So,
well, I don't know. Conor was never, I think, going to be leading any charge. He might have been leading a charge and image until he negotiated a deal on the other. One hand was leading this point this way for the team to go. The other hand was holding out his hand for pay me off. But we're the same guy I was talking to in the studio. I was like, man, why is U2 still making fucking records? It's like, they can't be his quest for artistic significance. He goes, you don't understand, man. There's a city of people who depend on them. Stage guys, sound guys, light designers. These people are paying mortgages on houses, putting the kids through college. It's not like you think U2 needs the money? You think they need to get out of the house? That's not necessarily it, man. It's like Metallica has been pretty frank about this. Got heavy people who depend on me, man. It's easy for me to get on stage and play my guitar because of the hard work of these other people, and they deserve to keep working. Fuck that, Jack. No, I guess a lot of people depend on the Rolling Stones. They keep rolling out every couple of years.
Yep. Yeah.
I haven't made my pick yet, though. But I was gonna go with Ortega over Swanson, but I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go with Swanson. I think he's gonna do it for himself. He's gonna be focused and win, and then who knows what happens at that point. And then I got a feeling the UFC still doesn't sign him for what he wants, and he's unfortunately has to go free agent, and I don't know if the Bellator or anybody else will put the money up that he expects or hopes for.
See, this I haven't figured out based on the picks. Here's our pick sheet. I haven't figured out. Somebody who's good at math or statistics should help me figure this out. I haven't figured out whether blanking you on night puts me at a disadvantage.
Look at that. We have 4. I have 4. You have 3 picks.
Yeah, that's not very good.
That's you were yelling at me last week for not making any picks. But we have a couple more picks to make. We have a couple more picks to make because Saturday also is Lomachenko Rigondeaux. I know you're excited. That's such a better card. Such a better fight.
Yeah, Lomachenko. Yeah, Gesundheit. I don't know what the.
That's all Lomachenko is fighting.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Sure.
Rigondeaux. It's boxing. 2 guys in a ring with gloves fighting.
Crazy. Okay.
Who are you picking? That's the main event. Well, I'll forget the undercard. The undercard's got some interesting Olympians fighting. Former Olympians are building up and stuff, but forget that because I know.
Hey, you want 100% honesty?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about either of these guys.
You don't know? Okay, that's good. That's good because that gives me a chance. Who are you gonna pick?
How do you expect?
Or Lomo?
How do you expect me to pick somebody I don't know anything about?
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
You're just desperate for a win. All right, I like Lomo. I like the name. What?
God damn it! Damn it! This doesn't count. We don't need to pick this.
No, you backed off. Okay, so what were you gonna pick, Lomo? Or are you gonna pick Rigondeaux?
Lomachenko, yeah. I mean, it's a great fight, but I don't think Rigondeaux has he's moving up in weight. I don't buy the Rigondeaux's only 37. I actually think he's older.
Yeah, he's a Dominican Republic 37. Yeah, man, I'm 37. Hey, your kids are 35. Okay, I'm 39. Come on, man. I don't buy it.
Shaved a few years off though, but he came to the country.
So you're picking Lomachenko. All right.
I'm picking Lomachenko. So damn it, there goes my. Okay, let's go to the undercard really quick. Maybe I can. I got a shot if we put some of these fights that you don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna go. I feel like I've abdicated responsibility for the. I mean, I know we're not supposed. It's supposed to be with the casual fan, but this is just. I mean, you might as well ask me about hockey. In fact, you could use hockey players' names in there, and I would just make picks, and I don't know what's going on.
That's
So.
okay. Speaking of which, who do you think of the Rangers this weekend, or do you think it's the Penguins? I think that way they're
Oh,
not playing.
you gotta know I'm a Rangers fan.
All right, really?
Yeah, I'm a New Yorker, man.
Well, I didn't know if you even followed hockey, so how about
Yeah,
that?
I've written pieces for Ozzy on hockey because of Eddie Giacomin, some of the enforcers.
I used to play hockey when I was a kid, so
I got a piece coming up. I think this Saturday or Sunday on violent gentlemen. The sports gear line have now branched out into jiu-jitsu gis and fight wear, but they ripped off their whole act from Millwall, the UK soccer club that actually shows up at matches where their team is not playing just to fight. And the Millwall thing was nobody likes us, and we don't care. And Violent Gentleman now has a shirt that somebody sent me once. Is like they nobody likes us and we don't. They hate us and we don't care. And nobody likes us and we don't care. So I thought, what a great shirt. So I bought a bunch of their shit. So I'm interviewing these guys for the piece, and in true fashion, and like true, because it was great. The guy who runs the fucking company, whose name is like Mike Hammer, ends up kind of telling me to fuck off before the interview is done. Yeah, so like they're cranky guys. As a company by cranky guys for cranky guys, sold solely to cranky guys. Because I saw some guy in New York wearing a Violent Gentleman shirt. I'm like looking at him like, oh, yo, hey, because we both have on the shirt. He just looked at me like, fuck you. That was like, man, it's a fashion line for fucking sociopaths and malcontents.
It is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle wear for sure. It's you got to be your odds are 95% chance someone wearing that's a dick. Is that
right? Exactly. Ice in our bloods. Yeah, ice in our veins. What is it? They've got a bunch of kind of agitprop shit. I like those guys.
That's
Even though he told me to fuck off before the interview was done.
That's we just got, what is that, American Wear or whatever out here, the guy that used to have the
sexually harass people.
Yeah, I used to go by his office all the time. It was kind of, even then it was kind of creepy.
Did he trap you in the office and make?
No, I never dealt with him directly. Never had to even talk to him.
Man, I was so happy when that guy's star crested. It was just a great. There's American Apparel. There's actually a store in Palo Alto, and I drive by and see it shuttered, and I'm like, if I'm having a down day, I'll actually like take a detour to drive by the store and look like
well, just the weird thing. He'd have poor girls that were working as seamstresses for him, making freaking legal underpaid work, and then he'd turn them into models, and then hey, walk around in just panties in my office all day or some weird crap. It's like, geez, it's bad enough. It's degrading enough that you're forcing them to work for no money. And now you're on top of that. You're going to put this on top of it.
Well, this is the thing. This is the kind of shit that guys without fucking game do. It's like, now, like you've mentioned before, I've done creepy shit like I'd stage in front of hundreds of people, but, I'm the people few and far between who are going to accuse me of creepy shit, because one, I'm pretty honest about it. I'm not trying to do, hey, let's work on a project together and then dropping my pants. Pretty much I would come out and say, hey, how about you and my penis do something together? Then you can say no. And we get all that consent stuff right out front. I have an idea. You, my penis, together, what do you say? And then they go, no. And I go, okay. Then that's it. And then we go on to have a normal relationship, and none of this creepy stuff where your job is dependent on it. Somebody said it best. They go, you weren't predatory as a boss, Eugene. You were predatory as a man.
Wait. I just want to be clear. Now, these coworkers, these men that you proposition with your penis, how do they take that?
Look at John. He got it in there. Yes, these men that I proposition with my penis. What was your question?
Well, I was just going to say, how do they take? I mean, are they offended, or are they?
I think people appreciate the candor. If you want, honestly, I think that there was an appreciation for candor, because I remember, saying something like, hey, is your boyfriend one of those guys who would get terribly upset if you and I had sex? And she was like, oh, yes, just crazy. And I go, okay, just thought I'd ask.
That's decent of you to ask. But what if the boyfriend wouldn't be? What if she says no? My boyfriend would love to watch or join in.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to watch Knuckle Up for the full, unexplicated version of the life of Eugene Robinson. But as long as the guy stays on the other end of the mitigating partner, then I don't mind. If he tries to do a sneak run around the back, then I might get kind of touchy.
That touchy-feely about that. That's right.
There's one guy I remember. I remember saying, I remember telling one guy, go, "Hey man, how come everywhere I want to put my hand, your hand is there? Get the fuck." You got a torso. Get on the other side of the torso and don't be talking to me and don't try to high-five me in the middle of a fucking threesome, please.
Yeah, that always reminds me of when I go back to like Minnesota and stuff, and you meet the Midwestern people and you're hanging out, and it always struck me as like they're like, "Oh, John, you're from Hollywood. This is so tame." And I'm looking around and people are doing lines of coke and they're trying to set up orgies. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, but we don't really do this in Hollywood. You guys are you're living a life that we in Hollywood would consider
which is why like 50-year-old women are great, because they're in their minds competing with this illusory 22-year-old woman who's doing everything. So you these young girls and so if you I know by a guy who's like pathologically afraid of older women. It's like, no, this is great times. Anyway, we've gone pretty far afield.
I could just imagine Nate watching this, just banging it. There goes the monetization. There goes the monetization.
You should speak to him right behind you. You see him there?
Yeah. Well, that was a full episode of Circumcised, Not Circumcised, because we.
Oh, nice! I like that. No, circumcised, don't circumcise.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. Well, two of my parents screwed me over on that one, then, so I had no choice in the matter.
Man, are you going to be one of those guys who's like whining and crying about that?
I don't care.
There are men's groups about that, and they sell you kits with weights and clips and all that stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. I have no pride. I find it very sanitary. I have no quabbles about Again, we got off the penis, though. Now we're focusing on the penis again.
We started with penis, and we ended with penis.
We are consistent. We have there's a theme to our running narration of the show, and that's
there you go.
Penis. Anyway, so no Lomachenko for you. I'll be watching that and tuning in a little UFC to a pretty crappy UFC card. Amazing. Every time there's a crappy UFC card, Nate's not on the show.
Yeah, that's kind of funny the way that works. There's actually something going on weird here. I think there's a big gas leak. They're kind of evacuating this fucking mall.
I'll let you go because we'll probably have a fire raging down the street right now anyway. All right, everybody, tune into Nate's their show next week. Tune into If the Shoe Fits. Tune into If I Did It. Tune into Knuckle Up, and that's it. And just
with only 3 fights that I care about in the card, I'm probably not going to do a Knuckle Up. But you never know. The next Knuckle Up is the last one before we go to the Eugene Robinson Show Stomper, and that's the new Knuckle Up. So
that'll be a new Knuckle Up. All right, let's get out before we both die in some horrible California accident here.
All right, man.
Talk to you later, man.
All right, bye.